Good
morning,
morning.
everybody.
Happy Friday. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe. And let's see who's in our Discord. Hey, well, you guys come in. We have a visitor here, Mr. BitBender himself. Hey, man.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Friday morning?
We're good here on stage, man. It's happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here with everybody. Happy to be here, and I am currently monitoring the Common Ground World discussion channel, which I haven't been in for a long time. So, hello, everyone.
Let's see who's in there. We have Stan making a surprise cat face. Lazy Lumberjack. Poison. Hey guys, I'm Machine. Nacho G, of course. Lots of guys here. Well, of course, Ninja Surprise and Farmer Michelle, who are here on stage.
I'm here.
And you have no sound issues.
Nope.
Happy to hear. And yes, it's Friday the 13th, which is pretty ominous, I think. Or cool, depending on how you like your scary movies.
Such a fun day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that would give in, a few minutes for people to come in. So, welcome everybody to the October 13th, Friday the 13th Common Ground World Town Hall. We've been doing this weekly since July last year, except a couple of exceptions, but mostly consistent. And we meet to share what's going on with everyone, with the team, answer questions, share news, maybe have, a guest or two. In this case, we have Mr. BitBender. So, happy to have everybody here. Of course, like and subscribe as always. And what should we start with, Miss Farmer Michelle?
I think our headlines this week are to talk about what kind of current stuff we've got in progress, and then some updates on rewards, and then social media updates.
Alrighty, so I can get started with the current work in progress. This is, aside from tokenomics and high-level stuff that BitBender will talk about, actual, hardcore development that I can mention is that Townstar Nodes functionality is in progress, as we discussed last week. We have the upgrade system for NFTs in progress. There's some API work for node owners going on. Is that right, Vulcan?
Yeah, that's right. It's looking good.
So that's pretty interesting. API work for node owners and other quality of life improvements. I just checked yesterday on Nuketown from main menu, which will be a great addition for everybody to just, if you don't want to go through fast forward, especially the slow fast forward for casual or competitions, you can just nuke it without having to go through Farmer Michelle. So those are some of the things that are actively in development right now, which is pretty cool. And what's next in headlines?
Let's talk about rewards. So this week we sent out the rewards from the the first Anything Goes competition. So that went out, I think, like 3 days ago now. So everybody should have those. Thank you all for being patient as we were onboarding some new staff. Everything should be back on track and smooth now that everyone's up to speed. So I would expect the next rewards from this competition that ends today to go out sometime early next week. Awesome. That's all I got for rewards. Yep.
What's the next headline?
I think it's Ninja Surprise. Media.
Yep. I'm the surprise. I'm up. So hey everybody. So as you know, I worked on the rebranding and updating the social medias yesterday for the new Common Ground World rebrand. And what goes great with a new rebrand? Well, I would say a new video trailer, some new video footage. So I'm actually working on with some of my colleagues here a new video trailer for Common Ground World, and to kind of bring about like a whole new look and feel to the game, because the game is really new, because like the game is going to have like a whole new look and feel to it, really. And like we've been making a lot of progress on the game right now, so I think like a new video trail, an updated video, some new updated video content would be, really awesome to see. Additionally to that, we have Halloween coming up, so spooky season's in full fashion right now. So I'm gonna be working on some video some Halloween content and some teasers for you guys with some of our new Halloween NFTs and game content that's going to be coming out. And in regards to the Zilli, so we're going to be approaching the end of the month. We're about halfway through October, and you're probably wondering about what the Zilli rewards are going to be for this month. So I'm right now thinking about it. I'm looking through it. As I've gotten a couple of messages already from the community about the about what happened with September, since I was out for my paternity leave, taking care of my new little girl. So unfortunately, I wasn't really able to keep an eye on the Zilli at the time. But now I'm trying to think of some other, some way that maybe we could do something different for this month to compensate some people that worked really hard on those Zilli quests. So I'm thinking it over. I'm going to see what I can come up with. But right now, for the Zilli, I'm still looking through the different rewards that we could be doing. But yeah, I'll have more on that later on. But yeah, that's for social media. That's basically all that I have.
Awesome, thanks. I'm excited to see that new video
Thank you, Ninja
when it's
Surprise.
ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a ninja surprise to have you here. Here you are back working
What a surprise.
the Zilli board. Really happy with that. So, hey, again, thank you, man, for all you do with social media.
Yep, no probs.
So what's next?
I think we're moving on to tokenomics and light paper.
Tokenomics and light paper. That sounds like a thing that you guys want me to say words about. I don't know.
I would really like. Yes, definitely. I would really like you to say something.
Word saying thing. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like maybe we shouldn't say as many words. I don't know. I have one interesting fact for you guys. Do you know the origins of Friday the 13th?
I've heard about it, like different stories, but which one is the one that you're telling?
So it's actually kind of interesting because today, October 13th, okay, is actually 716 years since this happened. Does anyone know what happened?
No.
Is this the Templar thing?
It is the Templar thing. It is the 716th anniversary today of the Knights Templar being declared a heretical order by actually King Philip of France declared them a heretical order, and basically all at once sort of attacked Templar holdings all throughout France, because the Templars had a massive amount of wealth and power. And because they were essentially a religious organization, the King of France could not tax them. And so they had tons and tons of land and money and all of that, and France just wasn't able to get anything from that. And it was just money that kept, not going to the crown, which, the kings tend to have a little bit of a problem with. And so he declared them a heretical order and had them essentially, rounded up and a whole bunch of them, executed and things like that. But the other interesting thing about this is that in Paris at the time, there was a Templar fleet that was basically hanging out at the docks, and they got advanced word of all of this, and they made it out to sea before all of the king's men could get there to clap them in chains. And each Templar fleet had their own specific flag that they would use. And the flag that was used by the Templars of this fleet was essentially the Jolly Roger. And they would go and committed acts of piracy and whatnot throughout the Mediterranean for years after that. And that's where we got the long-term association of the Jolly Roger with piracy. It was actually a Templar battle flag. So, random historical fact of the day for you guys.
That's wild.
That's pretty interesting. But so I knew that story because my grandmother is is a historian
Mhm.
specializing in Templars. So I've heard that
That your grandmother sounds
times-
like a badass, is what your grandmother sounds like.
Well, she's not such a badass anymore. Like, she's very sick, but yeah, I'm very old, like 94. But it's interesting to hear about, 700 years ago, powerful kings were rounding up people who had money and they couldn't tax, and how that may have some parallels with today.
Interesting. Interesting. That is you know what? That's a very good connection. I had not put that together, but you're absolutely 100% right. There may be some people who are doing that sort of thing at various governments and organizations around the world. I can see that as a very interesting parallel.
Mm.
So the the takeaway here for everybody is that you should pay your taxes, okay? Because if you don't, there's going to be problems for you. Okay, so anyway, let's talk a little bit about tokenomics and about common ground world and dirt and nodes and all of that. So I recognize that the light paper is a little bit behind schedule, and that is 100% my fault. I've been working on it with some of the team here, but there are bits and pieces of it that we just need to make sure are correct before it gets put out, because what we don't want to have is a situation where we release something and then something has to change and people get upset about that. We're trying very hard. I know that you guys are hopefully noticing this, to make sure that when we release something, it's further along and isn't quite a, oh, we hope that someday this thing will happen, but it's more of a, hey, this is what's happening right now. It's being built, and we're going to go ahead and get it launched, and here is a timeline for that. So you've seen that we released some information about the nodes last week, and we're rapidly working towards that. We also released some information about dirt. One of the interesting things about dirt is that it is designed specifically to be something that tracks involvement over time. Okay. Now how do I say this? I have to say this very, very carefully. Tracking this involvement over time and the work that has been done by the node operators and whatnot is important and will be important in the future. There is no guaranteed promise that this will eventually become an actual tradable token. In fact, that's a thing that we would potentially like to see, but we can't make a commitment about that, in advance. So if that's a thing that happens, it will happen. But we can find ways to utilize this going forward in the future in the game and whatnot. So I think that that's going to be something that you guys are happy to see, and we would definitely hope that you would continue running your nodes, because as of right now, your nodes are actually contributing to the larger network for both Common Ground World and the decentralized internet as a whole via your IPFS portion of the workload. So yeah, there's a lot that's going to be coming there, and I'm hoping that within this next week we can get a full paper released. It's moving along nicely, but there's a few bits and pieces that have to be ironed out and a couple technical details that have to be nailed down. But I just wanted to come on here and say this is what we have going on, and to answer any questions that people may have. I like that gift, Poison. I love seeing my daughter do crazy things like that, and it's always so much shock when she manages to cover her head with dirt.
So what can we say, BitBender, about? Well, we can repeat some of the information first, right? Like, for example, node operators will get what right now, just for having.
Okay, so right now, and I would also like to hit a few of these. I would like to hit a few of these questions that people have. Man, you guys got some salty people here. This is good times. Okay, so the basically what Dirt does is Dirt tracks your uptime. Okay. And it will be something that eventually, if there is a move to a currency, would be used to determine the initial distribution of parts of that currency. Okay. Now, again, can't say that that's a for sure thing at this point because we can't say that. But that would be what it would be used for in the future. So I'm going to hit a few of these questions that people have, if you guys don't mind. Do you mind? It's been a long time since I've been here on one of the morning things, and I'm usually driving. So can I hit some of these?
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay. At 777, can you explain the thinking behind the node split? Are we now supposed to run 14 nodes on 14 separate VPSs, run 14 separate guilds? So the thinking behind the node split, okay, is there's been a lot of people who have complained that one, that they bought a node and it was much more expensive than, they feel that they've had any sort of utility out of it. And they were sold at different price points. Okay. So we were looking for a way that, on one hand, we want there to be more nodes out there, because one of the key things about the guild is that the guild operates as a critical onboarding ramp for Common Ground World. I keep wanting to say Townstar, guys. CGW. I'm going to CGW for Common Ground World. Okay. So what a guild essentially is it allows you to bring other people in and get them using your NFTs and playing with your NFTs, and joining in guild competitions and things like that. Now, if we were to just split out and give everybody one node NFT, okay, then what we're going to run into is that there are going to be people who feel that they received the same thing that somebody else paid more for, right, or less for rather, and they're not going to feel that they've received the utility for that. Now, the other part of this is that we are looking at an upgrade trajectory for nodes. So if we wanted to find a way to recognize the different price points that these were sold at, then we could either give people nodes that were upgraded progressively. And so one person would have a level 10 node versus a level 15 node, for example. But that felt to us that it was going to be a something that people would be more likely to be frustrated by. What we wanted to do is to maximize the flexibility and allow people to do what they wanted to do, okay, without trying to sort of force them into a box. So this is where the idea of splitting the nodes down came from. By having multiple nodes, you have a few choices. One, you can run your node on a bunch of different VPSs if you want. Totally fine. You can absolutely do that. If you don't want to do that, that's also fine. You can then put those additional nodes out on the secondary market if you want. You can give them to your friends. You can do whatever you want with them. And it basically serves as another vector to bring more people in that will then hopefully bring more people in. This is the idea here.
Right.
You can also
sorry, before you move on, that's because our dear node team is working on nodes as NFTs, right? So very soon they'll be able to give them, trade them, sell them, whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now the other part of this, and the exact details of this are in flux, but the concept, I think, is probably one that will be retained, is the concept of being able to take your X number of nodes and merge them back into one level X node, whatever that happens to be, as a way to basically level up your node. And then you would have your one higher level node, but it would be something that you would then be in charge of, whether you wanted to do. Maybe you only want a level 5 node, or you want a level 10 node, whatever. It makes it something that that you then are able to be in the driver's seat on. And so that's the key behind all of that. Let's see here.
Well, while you look for other
Yeah.
answers, yeah, basically what we're working on is, well, you can level up your nodes. We said that the nodes provide guild functionality, right? So the guilds right now, if you look at the Medium post that we set out, um, they're supposed to have, amount of guild members or a cap to guild members. They also have slots for slotting in the bots, farm bot, and the other bots that uh, were sold a long time ago and they haven't had a certain use. So when you slot that in, everybody in the guild will get a passive effect because of it, right? So upgrading your guild could also affect that, right? I'm not going to go into specifics. And also, the guild master, the owner of the node, can slot in a certain number of NFTs that then can be checked out by other guild members in competitions, right? So upgrading your node will allow you to, have more slots for slotting in those NFTs. So there will be a lot of benefits for actual players of the game to upgrade their nodes and improve their guild. But as BitBender said, you have your other options too. You can sell them if you don't want to do that, keep them, or some other things.
I want to, Paul. Do I have? We have Paul here, by the way, in the background. Good, Paul. Do I have the ability to screen share? Okay, Paul is going to set that up because I want to demonstrate something to everybody here. You mean do it as my screen or the actual screen share on the thing? Okay, cool. 1 second. Let me get this up on my screen here. Jetty asked, did he just say decentralized internet? Yes, I did say decentralized internet. That is what IPFS is and is designed to be. And the reason that I mention this is because, and I'm trying to find the page right now really quick. It's driving me crazy. Is that I want to demonstrate something using some statistics from IPFS because I think it's super, super cool. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, going to go ahead and share this. Uh-oh. Can you guys still hear me?
We can.
Okay, because I am no longer, my browser window has crashed. Well, that's super irritating.
That's that's okay.
Okay. No, there we go. We're good. We're
Okay.
good. It was just having a little bit of a hard time. Are you seeing that, Paul? Okay, great. Okay, and when I see that pop up, then I will talk about it. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is from Probe Lab. .io, which basically tracks IPFS information. Now, I'm going to show why I'm super, super, super excited about what we have going on with IPFS and why everybody operating a Founders node or a Townstar node, film and music nodes also do this. These are really, 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 really important things. Okay. IPFS uses what are called distributed hash tables. Okay, which basically tell everyone where everything on IPFS lives. Okay, now what you're going to see, okay, is here are the number of nodes that are currently online. Okay, and this is basically, based on their statistics that they pull from the network. Okay, these go back over week for months. Okay, and what you're going to see is that you've got, in any given week, roughly 29,000 active nodes that are on basically all the time, right? As well as some that have, come on and off at any given time. Now, let me actually go back to Discord so I can track if people are understanding this. Okay. Now, basically what you're going to see here is that if you go and you look at the contributions, okay, to the network, what you're going to find is that the most frequent DHT server agents. Okay, actually, you know what? Somebody go look right now, just in the chat. Go look and tell me how many Gala Founders Node workloads are online right now. I don't have that up right now, but what I want to draw attention to is this here. Okay, now please note that this is a log scale graph. Okay. Sivork, I just marked off the super, 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 and very, very, very spots on my BB bingo card. You know, I got that from my daughter. She's the one who has started doing that. She says things 3 times. It drives me crazy, but it's super cute. So the point that I want to draw attention to here is that this 32,000, okay, nodes running Kubo. Okay, we'll get to the light paper in a minute, Dash. Those are Gala nodes for the most part. Okay, so the next biggest, okay, is 3,500 nodes. So as of right now, the Gala Founders Node ecosystem is roughly 90% of IPFS. Okay, 29,900 of these, okay, are Gala Founders nodes. And if you look at the always up here in this graph, okay, and I'm actually going to drop this here, so I'll drop that there so you guys can look at it. You know, that number of online, 29.188 thousand, okay, is pretty substantial. And Vulture, by the way, this number will count basically all of the node types. So the 29.9 number is probably more accurate. Okay, some people are just throwing out random numbers there. But my point is this, is that by contributing to the network, okay, you are quite literally powering the decentralized internet of IPFS, okay? And every single one of your NFT projects that is out there that uses IPFS and decentralized storage is functionally operating right now on Gala Founders nodes. Okay, so Gala is, to a very large extent, the backbone of every single NFT project out there that's storing things on IPFS. Anyone who's doing anything on IPFS is doing so through the Gala Founders Node network, whether they know it or not. So that's why this is important. We believe very strongly in supporting this decentralized internet because crypto lives on this. And so this is why this is something that's important for us. Okay. So we can stop the share now, Paul. I just wanted to walk people through that. Okay, thank you very much. When NFT earnings are turned back on, will that be in dirt? Well, let's put it this way. It would either be in dirt or in something else. But again, we can't make promises on that. Somebody here will be able to read through the lines there. Okay, let's see. What other questions do we have? Will there be earnings for old school NFTs, crane bots, water towers, wheat stands? Yes, those will be turned back on when it is turned back on for everything here.
Yeah, we mentioned several times before that anything that has town points associated with them, they will keep having those town points. So no changes to that, guys.
Oatcat says, would be nice instead of merging nodes into a new NFT, the level was set by the number of nodes held in the account. So that's a cool idea. The challenge that you would potentially have there with that, though, is that if you had members in a guild, let's say hypothetically speaking, and this is an entirely hypothetical number that may not be the actual number, each level allowed you to add 5 people to your guild. Let's say that you have 10 nodes, that gives you a guild of potentially 50 people. Does that track so far? if you were to have 50 people in your guild and then move 5 nodes out, suddenly you're going to have your guild get split down. There's a bunch of people who get booted from the guild. Who knows who that's going to be? And it just eventually becomes a really, really terrible experience. I think the idea of merging nodes makes a lot more sense, but I do understand the future flexibility point, and that's something that we'll take into consideration. Good God, guys, you're funny. Let me see here. Dash, what would you like to see, man? I see Dash Riprock in here constantly, yeeting salt into the chat. And I see Nacho as well. Nacho, you're not reading between the lines. Would you please read between the lines a little bit better? My God. Okay. Dirt is the one replacing gems. No, that's not exactly the case. Something else will be town coin. No, it will not be town. 100%.
Now we burn all of town, right?
Yeah, town is gone. Dash, what questions do you have? Ask me a legit question. Right now, you just keep saying, ooh, NFT prices are about to drop. That's not a question. That is salt. Go ahead and ask a question. Will the node operators who kept their node running for the last year be recognized separately from those who shut theirs down? So that's a great question, Sevwork. So the way that this works is we maintain a backlog of data that runs 90 days. Okay, so we can look back 90 days and say that this person had their node up or down, anytime within the past 3 months. So if you've had your node running for the last 90 days, 100% you will be recognized separately from everybody else. However, given that we can't go back a year, and this took way longer than we wanted it to, obviously everyone knows this, we wanted to find a way to recognize those people who had potentially been running their nodes or had the opportunity to do so, even if we did not necessarily have the data on that. We felt that that was the best solution there. Nacho, I would like to say that I never said that dirt would never be a token. I have never said that once. Will the old NFTs earn Gala or not? Yes or no at BitBender? No, they will not earn Gala. And let me explain why earning Gala doesn't work. Okay. So earning Gala, anytime you have somebody earn Gala, and this is a conversation that I have had, Ed is not getting it. So the reason that you can't have Gala be the thing that is earned is because it is then at that point in time based entirely only on what is put into the game by the players. And then by the very nature of the fact that the game actually has to operate and has all of these other things attached to it, and there's friction there, the amount that people could potentially earn out of the game becomes a fraction of what was put into the game. Okay, which means that if it is in Gala, if somebody puts in, let's say players in general put in 1,000 Gala, okay, the amount that would potentially go back out to players is going to be less than that. So there is zero way, okay, that will make anybody happy. In fact, it would just piss everybody off because you'd have a situation similar to what you had with spider tanks at the very beginning, where the amount that was being emitted was so incredibly low that everyone just got extremely upset about it. So that's why it can't be Gala. Okay. Let's see. Okay, you know what? Fine. There will be a new token. There. Are we happy now? Can we be okay with that? I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but I'm really tired of this. Like, oh my god, he's not telling us there's going to be a token.
Okay, so
Oh,
why
good
not simplify the
Lord.
thing? So the thing is, we're gonna give dirt
Come
while
on.
we prepare a symbol, which will be a token. Is that the correct way to
There.
say it?
Good
Right. So you,
Lord.
in the absence of a token and in preparation for a token, will give dirt, which is not a token, and at some point we'll say, okay, here's a token that which equivalent to dirt is blah, and we'll get all of your dirt out of your account and we'll give you a token. Is that the best way to describe it?
That is a good way to describe it. But
Okay.
Lord. Okay, guys, you need to understand that if there's a thing that we don't say, typically there's a reason we don't say it. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be the thing that you want it to be. Okay? Good Lord. No, Dubstep Rod, no need to keep it hidden, ha ha ha. No, there is. You don't understand that. That's the point. That if we don't say something, typically there's a reason we're not saying it. Okay? And what everyone anyway, the key here is that we are looking very, very hard to try to do our best to do what is best for the community. Okay? And if we're not coming out and explaining everything, it is because there is a reason that we're not. And we can't always go into that. I know you want clarity, but there are things that we can't always go into. Pone, NLO, are you making a new token because Gala is being inflated beyond expectations? No, Gala is not being inflated beyond expectations. It is actually exactly mathematically in line with what it is supposed to be. If you read the tokenomics papers on that, you would understand. Okay, let's see. I don't know that we have a set date to flip all of this back on. But I would like to get a roadmap out there for you guys.
Yeah. So the we're working on the light paper first. In the meantime, we are designing a bunch of stuff that we've discussed, like the guilds. We're putting finishing touches on design for that, starting with development and upgrades and stuff like that. So once the light paper is out, the next step is roadmap, and that will be out, a little while after that. So that's kind of like current plan.
Okay. Yeah, no, that is true. M. Walton, why kill TP and add a new token? Town points. I assume that's what you mean by town points. And I don't think this is killing town points. I think it's just town points are still the way that just determines the distribution of play to earn rewards. But the basic reason that we're going with a new token rather than having stuck with town is because at a fundamental level the tokenomics for town were pretty broken, and so we needed to clear the decks and establish a something new with an entirely new emissions model, because that token's emissions model was based on essentially push a button and a certain amount of token comes out. That doesn't work. We needed a long-term sustainable model that will work and have appropriate burn mechanisms and sinks and things in place, which I think everybody knew that there were just not enough of with town. So and yes, there will be a roadmap, guys. It will go into some of this. It will not go into all of it. It will go into the things that we can have it go into. Okay. Dash Rip Rock, man, for somebody who says that you're asking questions, all I'm seeing is just a lot of salty meme posts. So, ask questions or stop with the salt. Okay, let's see. What other questions do people have? Legitimate ones.
maybe we can go into some of the ways that you will get dirt / potential token.
Sure.
It's very
That would
simple
be,
though.
yeah, go for it.
So this is what we're working on, guys. The way that you will be getting dirt and or eventually another token, to be more explicit, is running nodes, right? Social activities that we'll mention later on when we get to the
Mhm.
roadmap. The play turns / daily challenges. That means your old earning NFTs that have town points, and then competitions. Competitions both single and guild based. So being part of a guild will be really important in the next phases of the game. It will allow you to get upgrade materials in bulk. Will allow you to get more dirt / token. And yeah, it's like your best bet for maximizing what you're getting out of the game. So for main things, big things for now, but running nodes, like having a guild, social activities, play to earn. That means daily challenges, and participating in competitions both as a single player and as a team / guild. So all those things will give you dirt in different amounts.
Um, yeah, and I think that one of the important things is if you go back to the history of Townstar, we had a large amount of growth that was originally based on social actions. Social actions were sort of the key to the beginning of Townstar. Invite a friend, get 100 Gala was what it was back in the day. Now we're not doing that with Gala, obviously, but we want to re-engage the social nature of the game, which I think it kind of lost because it became a very heavily competitive game, which is fantastic for some types of players, but it became very frustrating sort of for the casual player. Okay, I want to deal with a couple questions. Where did Nacho? Will be able to rent my NFTs through my node or just sharing? Initially, it will be sharing. That's going to be the initial iteration. It is likely, personally, I would like to see this that a rental model will come into it in the future, but initially, for the base, for the initial first version of it, it's going to be sharing. Social activity. We go back to the referrer program. It's not just the referring, man. It's social activity is so much more than that. It's talking about it. It's engaging with the rest of the community. It's sharing things back and forth. It's basically engaging the network effect of the entire body of players to help grow it and make it a better environment for people. So I mean, you could have something social activity based that is collaboration in game. You could make it in game. Trading could potentially be a social activity. It could really honestly be almost anything that makes the game experience better for everybody. Let's see. Will competition rewards fluctuate based on Gala price? I think in the long term, it would be based on a set amount of the new token and not on Gala. So I would say no. Will old NFTs become upgradable? Could I take a rare flower station and upgrade it to an epic? Not in that sense. You wouldn't be able to take a rare flower station and turn it into an epic flower station because there's a certain number of epics, there's a certain number of rares, and it would be really, really frustrating, I think, for the average NFT person if you had a bunch of people upgrading their station from rare to epic. But you could have a level 1 epic flower station or a level 5 epic flower station or something along those lines.
I can step in there. Yeah, like we are
Please.
not gonna take the old ones and make them upgradable. We are releasing new ones that start at level 1 and grow up to level 20, right? So don't expect the old ones to be upgradable because technically they are all at max level in terms of power, and functionality. So we can't really grow too much from the old NFTs that already exist, right? So the new ones, on the contrary, can start with small functionality, small values at level 1, and then grow up to max level, which will be similar to current rares, ancients, and so on, depending on the rarity. And the point of that is to give an entry level NFT to more people, right? And whoever wants to get more power out of it can go through the upgrade materials and upgrade process for them. So I hope that answers your question.
Dash Riprock. To be clear, competition rewards will eventually be paid in the new coin. Yes. When town node NFTs. I'm reaching out. I pinged the engineering team on this. They've, as you guys have seen, they entered. Let's actually try this really quick, just for grins. I'm oh wait, no. I'm resharing a file or a screen here. Give me just a second. I don't know if everybody has seen this. Can you pull my screen up, Paul? Okay, he's pulling a screen up. Stream, not a scream. We need to talk. We need to talk about some Friday the 13th scary stuff, guys. We need to talk about some movies or something. Okay, here we go. So you guys can see that there is actually a node channel here where different things have been taking place in the explorer.gala.com. So we are getting quite close to this. They're bridging NFTs back and forth and things like that. So locking and whatnot. And it's also worth noting there's a lot more channels here than there used to be. So if you want, go have a little bit of fun and poke around and see what's going on in those channels. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got to share there. And back to that. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you, Paul. What promotional? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I
I
was
was
just
just
gonna
gonna.
say, like, if you're done with AMA, we can move on. We have 10 minutes, but unless you want to answer some more questions.
I'm answering any random questions that I'm seeing. Promotional actions are the Common Ground people. I believe this is being mentioned at Common Ground screenings and whatnot. We are working closely with the Common Ground team on a bunch of different things right now that helps both the film from a Gala film perspective and then also Common Ground world. So there's a lot going on there.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna skip a couple things because it's a little late.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Did I hijack your entire thing?
That was exactly the point, so that's good.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I just
Totally fine.
I'm just gonna go over a couple things and hoping that the community heard some of your answers and my answers, and they kind of know what we're working on. There will be way more clarity when the paper is out, hopefully next week. But in the meantime, I'll go over a couple things real quick. First thing, new hires. We got a PM joining that's a product manager in the next few weeks. That person will be replacing Kesera. As you have noticed, Kesera has not been attending these ones. He moved on to other projects inside Gala. So we have a new PM coming soon, I think in 2 weeks. Let's see. We may not have time for the art restyle, but Isma, if you want to drop a couple images in Discord, I think that would be great. Are you there?
Will do. Yep.
Okay, well, I think Paul is showing a few, or will show. Okay, so what you guys get drenched in those improved rocks and trucks and express depots.
I wanted to show and explain a little bit, Paul. I mean,
we have 30 seconds.
if you
Go
allow
ahead.
me, yeah. No, I just wanted to say that we have been doing a lot of changes, and we're putting our efforts into improving all the art. As you see in the rocks example, I mean, the textures and the reality of it. The idea is to go a little beyond, so the game improves overall. So everything that we're doing is obviously for the better of the game. So just keep an eye on it, because we're going to be dropping some of the new art hopefully soon, but we're still working on that. Just leave that in there. Yep. So take it back to Sashi.
Okay. So yeah, still working on our resale. Some of those things will finally start coming out soon. I see that we're showing the Halloween stuff, which is great because I was just gonna mention that what's coming up next for the game is Halloween stuff. So we have 4 buildings that will go out very soon. This will be similar to how the mazes went out last year. And we also have the first pack of actual decorations. Like, so we have 4 decorations. They will occupy 1/4 of a tile each one. They don't do anything. They don't have any utility. These are the first purely decorative stuff that we'll be selling in the game. We'll see how that goes. I think they're pretty cool looking. So if you wanna, dress up your common ground town or your casual town or even your competition towns with Halloween stuff, you can get those pretty soon. Let's see. We're working on, I already mentioned it, but we're working on nodes and guilds, NFT upgrades, abandoned town feature. Probably the abandoned town feature will be out a couple days, hopefully. Box is also moving along. If you want to see your box in Common Ground World, you'll see it soon enough. We have to skip a bit of the Q&A so we can go on to the leaks. But before I do, just a reminder that we are still selling the composting facility and the Common Ground Academy, both in the Gala store and in our landing page. You can get credit card purchases in our landing page, so that's easier if you want to redirect someone to buy those two, the first upgradable NFTs with credit cards. You can do so by sending them to commonground.game. And what's coming out next week, Miss Farmer Michelle?
For the competition, next week's competition is our last of the Anything Goes competitions. We did 3 in a row. I will post all of the star changes. There's a lot of them, and we're running short on time. So I will post all of them in the announcement channel as soon as this town hall ends. I've got them all typed up already. Hopefully it'll be different than sushi boats again, but we'll find out. After that, we're moving on to more Halloween-themed things. I think I already told everyone in the chat a couple of times now, for anyone who hangs out in the chat all the time, that we're doing jack-o'-lanterns. And then after jack-o'-lanterns is something new. So get excited. I imagine we'll start leaking some of that new stuff next week, maybe? Or maybe we'll drop some stuff in the chat sometime later today.
Yeah.
Who knows? There
I
may
think
be
we
leaks out there.
Yeah, we can drop something here and there, but so let's see. Vanilla next week, right? Our last Anything Goes competition. Then Jack-o'-lanterns in honor of Halloween, and then something new for Halloween because that competition will start on October 31st, right?
Yep.
Got it. Some information on the biome. I know that we have some adjustments to meta to share, but we don't have time for that, so you'll have to put in an announcement. But what
Yeah,
about
it'll be in the announcements.
what about the town itself? What can they expect from the biomes?
Oh, it's going to be desert. It's still got all the different sides on it. There's a mountain side, there's a ocean side, there's a river side. So that you can still do whatever you'd like to do. All the options are there. The biome itself is a desert.
Got it. I see initial cash continues to be 25,000. One
Yep.
gas for trading, 60 seconds for normal trades, and 30 for express, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And I think that's it for our leaks right now. Expect some more Halloween themed leaks throughout the week and next Friday, guys. And we we breezed through our schedule here. So maybe we can answer a couple more questions if there are any questions remaining, especially for our dear guest here, BitBender.
Oh, I'm just here watching people chat and answering stuff in the chat. Couple things that I answered that I think are worthwhile for the stream. Airvini asked, so we'll be able to combine or upgrade town nodes even though we're getting them split up, then we can combine them back again. And yes, that is the idea. That's at least what I would like to see happen. Let's see, what other questions? Is there an honor system for the new token? I would not like there to be an honor system. I think that the entire concept of the honor system, I think, was off on the wrong foot. I think that the intention behind it is, generally speaking, a good intention. In the case of spider tanks, I think it's a good idea, but the implementation of it is leaves something to be desired. Let's put it that way. The basic concept is that, hey, for doing things that support the ecosystem, then you should potentially get a bigger reward for that. But the way that honor was set up for spider tanks is it's essentially a punitive thing, which I think is not good. That's not what we want. I would rather incentivize social actions and then give people a bonus than take something away from people for doing something that is pretty natural that they would want to do. So that's kind of the thinking there. We don't want to have an honor system, because I think that it would not help the situation at all. So no. Let's see, what other things did I answer? Will the new upgradable NFTs have the same utility as the ones already sold? That I will defer to the game designers on. I don't want to say something and put my face in it, because I am not a game designer. So I can work on tokenomics all day long, but I'm not a game designer. Are there plans to be able to stream Gala music in the game itself? I would love that. I think that would be super cool to have like a little jukebox thing.
I always wanted to do that. Yeah, for both Gala music and Gala film.
Like, we can just do it. Let's just do it.
I mean, we have other priorities, but we can get to that. Yeah.
There has to be a way that we can just have an API jukebox that we connect to. Like, there has to be. You have a Gala account.
Actually, I had some ideas for that. If you remember, maybe I could show BitBender later.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Just
yeah,
throw something on my calendar and let's make it happen. Because one of the things that we want to do, and if you guys haven't had a chance, I really encourage you to watch ahead of the game, because there was some cool news for Gala Gold members there. Is we want to bring the ecosystem closer together. We want to be able to bring in the entire ecosystem closer together, and I would love for there to be a way to stream music, because that'd be beneficial for everybody. I mean, nobody loses there. Okay, guys. I think we're at time, and I have to go because I have a daughter that really wants to go to a pumpkin farm today. And that I'm taking a little bit of time out of the middle of Friday to go do that. So I'm going to drop off. And
yeah, we're on time, but thank you so much for coming here. It's always weird to hear, Americans talking about their pumpkins and Halloween stuff, but it's amazing. So go have fun. And again, thanks for coming. Thank you, everybody. Farmer Michelle will announce, we'll do the announcements for the next competitions and more soon. We have an update coming out later today, and of course, like and subscribe. So thank you guys. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.